So I'm afraid my camcorder ran out of battery, so I didn't get to record most of this, but it's pretty straightforward. To support the deck upside down, I obviously used the dust cover, but since it's located with these two hinges into the base plate that you take off, I had to tape around it to make sure it stayed in place relative to the turntable. Mine is, there's lots of these different ways of doing this on the old YouTube. Mine is pretty straightforward. I come from the cartridge into the center of the switch. The switch goes to the switch goes two ways. This is the direct out. So if I flip the switch one way, it goes directly out to the phono of the preamp. If I flip it the other way, it goes to where it originally was, which is in here, and then out here you can have the line out if I ever want it later. Then this is my earth connection, which is a little bit too big, but again, unfortunately I couldn't get the same type of connectors here, so the reds and the whites are not quite the same, but I can always change that later. And the earth stub is a tad bigger than what I'd like, but again, it's all I could get at the time, and time's moving on, so I gotta get this done. So hopefully I get all this back together, and we'll be ready for a trial out with the new preamp. So one of the peculiar characteristics of how this deck is turntable is put together is between the base plate and these mounts, there's these little tiny bushes, and there's 8 of them. And so in theory you're supposed to hold these things in place while you put the lid on and then put the screws through, which is all but impossible. So what I have decided to try out is I'll just try and hold them in with a bit of shrink wrap, and hope that works. We shall see. So there we go, that's what it looks like. I just have to fit it all out and give it a test. Murphy's Law hit, or Sod's Law, whatever we want to call it. One of these little brass bushings that I showed you before, it fell on the floor and is now in that alternative dimension, and so I'll have to wait for a while. It's about 1 AM, so time to stop for today, and we'll try again tomorrow and see if I can find that little thing so I can put it back together.